We told them medium. We could get large boxes. We would just have to tell them. Large. Okay. I've never moved out of state. Before this, lived in a studio. So you could imagine, not a lot of things. So moving here was pretty easy, and it was like a 20 minutes. So we hauled everything ourselves. This time having to depend on people, them having to come like more than a week before we're actually leaving. Anyway, it's pretty tense. It's pretty tense. I feel like things tend to go wrong. Not wrong, but things tend to irritate you a bit more during transitions. And if you're married, there seems to be like tension, right? You're two individuals dealing with the same thing, but you deal with it differently. So I am pretty optimistic, kind of avoidant, kind of waited last minute to start doing this stuff. And my husband is very, very different. I think men in general are just very, very different. They don't really like to talk that much for the most part. That's not really how they solve problems. And the emotional stuff just has to wait. The emotional stuff is just gonna have to wait until after the move, because the move has to happen. So I feel like I got a lot done. This is getting a little personal, y'all, up in my space. This is our room, and really it's just packed up most of the clothes. It's just the clothes that we're gonna wear for like the next week. So this is what's happening. All right, so we're moving the 17th, like leaving, like lease ends 17th. We gotta be out of here. Okay, but the movers are coming the 10th. So figuring out, I'm just gonna be wearing the same, I mean, I wear the same things every day anyway, every week, but figuring out what to keep here for that week before we leave, in case the movers don't come on the date that they say that they're gonna come on, because that's what I'm worried about. Also, why does it take so, why do you need like 1 to 14 days to deliver the stuff when it takes like 14 to 24 hours to get to Florida? I'm guessing they're hauling other people's things, but like why I gotta be without my things for so long? Is this like a thing? Is this I'm pretty sure it's normal, because I got multiple quotes and the pickup was supposed to be like days before or weeks before, or at least a week before. But I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling hopeful. Today, I don't know what I'm gonna insert right here, around here, but today was my last time going into the city. And I went for a doctor's appointment. I went to see the dentist, and I think I'm still see this dentist even when I move, because I love this dentist. Because I feel like dentists, usually they try to charge you for things that you don't need, and my dentist, he doesn't do that. He tells me what I need. He says if I'm open to it, then go ahead and do it if I feel like doing it. But he doesn't he's not pushy. And I'm in and out of there really, really quick. Anyway, went to a dentist appointment today made me so grateful that we are moving at a time like this. It was, I believe, 19 degrees. How many degrees is this? The low was 18, but the way the wind was blowing today, you would have thought it was like 5 degrees. It was very, 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 very cold. And me getting lost in Central Park was not cute today. In the summer, springtime, that's cute. In the now time, in the winter, that's not cute. It's cold. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm lost. I don't know how to get out of here. I'm trying to get to the west side. And I've been lingering in this park for mad long. And this heat right now is hitting me like the grace of God. I think we made it. Figured it out. Okay, I found the exit. Finally. In the past couple of years, Jersey hasn't gotten like a cold winter for real. Like we haven't gotten snow for real. It's January, beginning of January, and it's already snowed I think 3 times. Last year, I don't even know if we got a snow. We got maybe some drizzle like in February, maybe March. But it started snowing. Jersey started to show out in October with the snow. So I knew from then on, oh, it's gonna be a winter. It's gonna be a winter. So I'm so grateful, so grateful that we're leaving at a time like this. I'm looking forward to it because I'm also trying to cram in seeing people, and I was a bit over ambitious with like planning to see people, and I underestimated how tedious and stressful packing would be, and I'm just gonna have to cancel plans because it's too much. Wait, say. Oh, funny story, maybe not so funny, but I have a prayer journal. It's a 5-year prayer journal. It was a gift for one of my friends for my 30th. I was about to say 50th. What? Anyway, but basically, help me to know your will, Jesus. Do we belong in Jersey? That's what I wrote for 2024, January 5th. And God be knowing. Oh, also taking this. I painted this at a really I low-key hate when people say dark time in my life, but truly it was during a very confusing time in my life, and it looks a bit chaotic, and there's really no theme. It was kind of just one of those things. I was feeling a little manic, and so I went to arts and crafts store, and then I got this big canvas and I just started painting, and this is what came to me, and I've kept it ever since. It's a reminder that I've come really far mentally, and that I'm not where I used to be. So it looks pretty hectic. People kind of look at it like, oh, that's interesting, but I know where I was when I did that, so that's all that matters. Anyway, as far as like the prayers, so this is gonna be my 3rd year in that prayer journal. Last year during this time, I was so confused. I was just very confused. I knew that I wanted something different. I knew that I wanted to change my surroundings, my environment. I just knew I needed something. I didn't set any huge definitive goals last year, but I did say that I wanted to do something different in my career. And the way that I started last year was really, my mind was very foggy. So a lot of my prayers weren't even prayers. They were just questions, just asking God, like, what I feel like where I am is uncomfortable. It's not where I want to be, feeling stuck. There's this stuckness that I felt last year. And so a lot of my prayers were questions. And so for it to be a year later and for this move to be happening is so crazy to me, because anything that I feel that I've tried to force has not come to pass. Or if I've tried to force something, whenever I try to force something, it just feels like I'm trying to force something. It doesn't feel easy. It doesn't feel peaceful. With this move to Florida, when I tell you, literally did not see this coming. It happened so naturally, so organically, so peacefully. Out of all of the decisions that I've made, or that we've made, my husband and I, this year, when God's hand is on something, it happens with peace. Like, I have a peace of mind, even though it feels kind of like hectic and I don't know what to expect and there's so much uncertainty. There's a peace that comes with decisions that you make when God's hand is on it. Okay. And I think I went, did I go into detail? No, I didn't. I have videos on here. I think it's like, it's 2 videos actually, 2 parts. Pruning. I didn't talk about getting this job in particular, but maybe I will eventually. It really, the way things just happen is so crazy. Okay, actually I am gonna talk about it. So if you watch my pruning video, if you didn't, it's fine. They're really, really long. I'm pretty long-winded when I talk. Like, it takes me a while to get to the point, but I'm gonna get to the point. At the beginning of the year, I was questioning my career, what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what that was. I went out on a limb, applied for a position. I got the position. I left my job and was waiting to start the new position. They rescinded the offer like a couple of months later. It was very, very wild. Something that doesn't happen at all. It was crazy. So got the offer in January. They rescinded the offer in May. So huge gap. But I talk about that, whatever. After that, after dealing with that disappointment, I was unemployed for some time, and I've never in my adult life been unemployed. So I truly had to depend on God to provide, and my husband, obviously. And I was applying. Then I made it in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to apply to jobs that I really, really want, that I can see myself being at, that I'm interested in, that I feel like could challenge me. Because you get to a certain point in your career, you're like, all right, I'm not just applying to jobs, just apply to jobs. I actually want to move up in the world. And so I applied. A lot of the jobs that I applied to were jobs that I did not think that I was qualified for. Okay, that I didn't necessarily have all the experience for, but I got transferable skills. And I feel like if you got soft skills, you could kind of do any job, really. Working with people, you could kind of do anything. So I applied to a lot of jobs that were out of my league. I decided this year I'm going to have the audacity. I'm going to have the audacity to actually think that I can do a job that might be challenging and hard. Right? Not too crazy. Like, you know, not OD. Like, I ain't gonna deal. I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like at this point I have a lot of experience. So I was applying to a bunch of jobs. I was keeping track of them. I got a call for this job. And I was like, what job is this? And then went back to my list. I was like, oh, yeah. And they called me on like a Tuesday, asked me if I could interview. I think I interviewed on that Friday. Bombed the interview. I feel like I bombed the interview. I feel like I bombed the interview. And interviewed on Friday. And they were like, we have somebody else to interview, so we'll let you know. I was like, okay. I wasn't really thinking about it. I was like, at this point, a lot of doors have been closed this year, God. So whatever you open is fine with me. I'm not gonna be married to an idea or a job or whatever. I'm just gonna let things flow. Interview Friday, they called me back Monday. They said, we want to offer you the position. I was like, whoa. First of all, I bombed the interview. Are you sure? Are you sure that it is I that you want? Did you make an error? Do you remember my interview? So anyway, I was confused that they called me back, but I was like, okay. The process after that was pretty slow, the onboarding, because in my head I'm thinking, because there were so many closed doors, because there were so many closed doors last year, I was like, I started to become a bit, I don't want to say pessimistic, but a little bit kind of like, things aren't going to work out, so why fixate on something? So I learned my grip was like this in 2023. In 2024, because of all of the closed doors, I began to loosen up my grip and really just let God do what he does. And he's done a lot. Anyway, so I was a little pessimistic, and I was like, you know, okay, they could say that they want to offer me the job, but until I see something for real, you know, whatever, I'm gonna still apply, whatever. I ended up getting a temporary job. It was like 6 months, which I really, really needed, because I still needed a job. Like, I still needed a job. So anyway, I started another temporary job through an agency. It worked out for 6 months. During this time, like the first couple of months, I was like doing onboarding, going back and forth with the full-time job, yada, 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 whatever. I finally get my start date in November. It's getting real. Then I realized, oh, this is really happening, because when I got the offer, it was like late August, early September. And so I wasn't telling anyone, because you know when you get bad news all of the time and you get a bunch of no's and you just get tired of telling people? Because first of all, I felt like I looked stupid, even though it wasn't my fault about the last job situation. I just felt stupid. I just wasn't sharing a lot in the beginning because I wasn't sure. I wanted to be certain that this was happening. So late August, I knew about this job, that it was in Florida, but the only person I knew is my husband, because that's our business. It was nobody's business. So until I got the confirmed start date in November, I was like, oh, this is real. Because in the beginning, it was like, we kind of like pretend like it's not happening. So it wasn't real to me. It was like just this thing that was happening. You know, it wasn't really real, you know? Because in my head, I was like, you know, God is going to close this door. He's going to take it away from me, or something's terrible's going to happen, you know? Catastrophizing. So when they actually was like, nah, we need you to come quick, I was like, wow. So it started to tell family and everything, whatever the case may be. Anyway, starting later this month in January, ended my contract. It's very interesting too, because I prayed a specific prayer where I said, God, okay, if I have to go back to work after the hell that I went through, please let it be not as stressful. And please, I don't want to work full time. That's the prayer that I prayed. Like, but also like I still want to get paid what I was getting before. When I tell you, he answered all of that. With the temporary job, usually they're like a couple of weeks, maybe like 2 months. This assignment was 6 months. Okay, and it was 3 days a week, and I already had experience in this field. I had already done this work, so it was low stress. When I tell you, the past 6 months working have not been stressed, not one bit. And I have never been at a job where I was not stressed. This was the first time where I was not stressed at all, and God answered specifically. And I didn't think, of course I have faith, but sometimes when you get a lot of closed doors, you just start to be a bit pessimistic. Why am I orange? Why did I just turn orange? Anyway, so everything worked out. There have been so many little things like God has been using to confirm that this is the right choice. Like when we made the decision, it felt right. Even though Florida was never on the list, though. Florida was never on the list. So that is kind of like, anyway, I'm going to end it here. So I'm really, really excited. I always want to end with like an encouragement. What's the encouragement? If you have an idea of what you want your life to look like, that's fine. But be open that it might not come packaged the way you think it will. God will surprise you. He can surprise you, and God knows best. He knows best. He knows best. That's all I have. Once you let go of the grip that you have on your life, on your plans, God could do greater than you could do with less amount of time. So, and also, I'm not stressed. Like my mental health, I feel mentally healthy. I get a little anxious sometimes, and my IBS is coming back a little bit actually, or maybe it never left, but now with the move, it's been up in my belly. I'm gonna end this right here because it's at 22 minutes right now, and I don't have anything else to give you besides that my life is about to change. This was just a prayer last year. Actually, I've been praying about this for years, actually. It's just last year I got Pacific. I know it's specific, but I got really Pacific. And I'm just excited. I don't know where I'm going to put this, what this is going to look like, where it's going to be at. But, hello, welcome. I'm excited. And, I don't have any edges. Okay, bye, cutie.